KHOU 11 News at 5:30 starts now.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us online. I'm Marcelino Benito.
And I'm Cheryl Mercedes.
2 people are dead after a shooting at a Galveston beach house.
The shooter is on the run this afternoon. The gunfire erupted overnight during a party at a home on Mendocino Drive. Here's reporter Troy Kless with what he's learned about one of the victims.
A holiday weekend celebration turned into chaos after gunfire erupted at a beach house here in Galveston, and it leaves a tight-knit community broken. A family arriving to hear awful news of their loved one. A mom identified her son as 21-year-old Brian Darden II from Brazoria County. She describes him as a father of 2 kids with a heart of gold, and family say his death was senseless. Friends and family say Darden was from Sweeney and lived in Lake Jackson while working at a plant. Police are not sure what exactly led up to the shooting.
It makes me worrisome, because me and my wife come down here very often, And
A neighbor woke up to several police cars parked outside his street. It's unclear where the shooter may have gone.
the only safety concern is we don't have some cameras in this neighborhood, for the entrance and the exits, and so we don't know who's coming in and leaving. If they had cameras, they'd know which car fled the scene.
Multiple people were also hurt. Police have interviewed several witnesses, but they're asking anyone with information to call detectives. In Galveston, Troy Kless, KHOU 11 News.
Thank you. Murder charges have been filed against a father whose 10-year-old son was killed in a crash in Huffman. Police say Emmanuel Camacho Patino was intoxicated behind the wheel last night when his pickup truck rolled over, killing his son, who deputies say was not strapped in with a seatbelt. The accident happened on FM 2100 at FM 1960. Prosecutors are requesting the father be held on a $1 million bond.
The impeachment trial of suspended Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton begins on Tuesday. Paxton is accused of abusing his office to benefit himself and an Austin real estate developer who donated money to his campaign. The 20 articles of impeachment against him include allegations of abuse of public trust, bribery, and making false statements. The Senate will hear this case. If he's convicted on just one of those articles of impeachment, Paxton could be removed from office and barred from ever running again. We will have gavel-to-gavel coverage of the impeachment trial streaming on KHOU 11+. To get all caught up on this case, just text the word Paxton to 713-526-1111. We'll send you back some links to relate to those articles to stay on top of this case.
Evacuation orders have been lifted in Walker County, where a big wildfire continues to burn at this hour. The Game Preserve fire has scorched more than 4,400 acres north of Huntsville. It's now 60% contained. So far, there have been no reports of injuries, and no homes or other structures have burned. One person is dead and thousands remain stranded at the Burning Man Festival in northern Nevada. Storm Saturday turned Black Rock Desert into a sea of mud, forcing festival organizers to urge attendees to shelter in place and to ration food and water. Details on the death have not been released, but the Pershing County Sheriff's Office confirms it is investigating.
Southern Nevada also hit hard by rains. This is video out of Las Vegas, where 2 days of torrential rains led to one death and a number of high water rescues. Meteorologist Pat Kaplan joining us now. And hey, Pat, I see right there we could have some rain, correct?
Yeah, well, it'd be nice to get some of that rain, wouldn't it? I mean,
that's a lot.
Yeah, not the flooding component, but I mean, we could actually handle this amount of rainfall out in the desert. They have a harder time with it. 3 to 6 inches, though, on average, getting back into the California deserts, into the Vegas area. That's why they saw all that flooding here over the last 48 hours. And then up towards Burning Man, which is up in this part of Nevada here in the northwestern corner, rain has finally started to wind down there, but they got a pretty good amount also over the last 24 to 48 hours. Now that rain's starting to shift off towards the east. Here at home, a couple storms up towards the Metroplex. We're just tracking a few light showers now starting to come into the Beltway here, all the way down towards Missouri City as you get up towards Maryland and potentially Bel Air. Although that shower does look like it's starting to fall apart. No thunder or lightning with that. And a couple showers try to get going here along the sea breeze, but those also started to fall apart. Good news, though, as we get into tomorrow. We're going to see rain. Bad news, it's Labor Day. We do see 60% rain chances, though, especially as we get into the afternoon. This could be some pretty scattered to even widespread activity here with a high temperature in the mid-90s. But any spots that do see rain will actually end up with cooler temperatures. 100 was the high temperature for today. Our normal is 93. We'll be closer to that again for tomorrow as those rain chances start to move in. There's your forecast hour by hour. By 9 p.m., we're back into the 80s. We'll stay in the 80s for a good part of the overnight. Maybe we slip into the upper 70s by tomorrow morning. But again, it's by the afternoon that we start to see those rain chances return to the area. All right, the firefight continues up in the Huntsville area. Now 60% containment on that fire. Some storms tomorrow, though, could be a help with that firefight, and also could actually put a damper on the fire danger, at least for a couple of days before we start to turn a little bit drier as we get into the end of the week again. So there's a snapshot of rain chances for your Labor Day, hour by hour. I think the morning hours are going to be the driest, and then by midday, probably around 11 a.m. is when those chances start to go up. And I really think they peak here for the middle part of the day all the way through the late afternoon. It's going to be a pretty good chance that at least someone sees something as we head to through the afternoon tomorrow. So this evening into tonight, we're dry. Tomorrow morning, maybe 1 or 2 spot showers. Again, it's a 20% chance early in the day. Watch how the radar starts to light up 10 to 11 a.m. out towards Galveston Bay and Liberty County, and then back towards Wharton County. But watch this. According to Future Track, we could really start to see this fill in along 59 going up 45, the East Tex Freeway up towards the Huntsville area where they have that fire burning. And in the city, we could see maybe quite a bit of rainfall here as these storms start to become a little more stationary. This is through 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I think as we get to dinner time into sunset, everything starts to wind down through the overnight. But by the time it's all said and done, Future Track is saying we could see maybe 1 to 3 inches of rain across the area in those heavier downpours with locally higher amounts. Now again, it's going to be the haves and the have-nots. According to this Future Track run, Katy sees 1/3 of an inch and Baytown sees nearly 4 inches. So take that with a grain of salt. We can't tell you exactly where those bullseyes will happen, but again, if you get caught under a heavy downpour, you could end up with several inches of rain. And boy, do we need it. Exceptional drought now taking over all of our southern and western areas. This will likely encroach in the rest of the area as we go through the upcoming week here with the newest drought report. And we are expecting, unfortunately, below normal rain chances to continue all the way through the middle part of September. 79 for the overnight. It'll be just warm and muggy as we get into tomorrow, though. Scattered afternoon storms, 95 degrees for your high temperature. There's the 7-day forecast. We'll do scattered storm chances again for Tuesday. I think it's a slightly lower chance, but all in all, again, it's another shot at storms for those that don't see any on Monday. And then it's more of an isolated chance for Wednesday. Temperatures slowly start to stair-step their way back into the upper 90s, eventually into the triple digits again with warmer temperatures back to the triple digits here for Thursday, Friday, and then maybe an isolated rain chance again as the system potentially starts to approach us from the north for next weekend, guys. So we're finally starting to see less frequency with the triple digits, and we're starting to see some rain chances. Again, it's not drought busting, but we'll take every drop of rain that we can get.
Hey, hope we get more of the same in September. Thank you so much, Pat. Well, a new exhibit at Houston's Holocaust Museum features a book that saved the lives of African Americans traveling through the South during segregation and the Jim Crow era.
The Green Book provided a list of where black travelers could stay to avoid places where they were not welcome. Photojournalist Renee Levine shows us the exhibit.
Segregation was a double-edged sword. We were left to our own devices to create our own businesses and self-sustaining communities. And you can see that in the breadth and variety of these businesses.
They have stuff from all over the country because this is Chicago.
I started documenting Green Book sites because I was commissioned to write a travel guide on Route 66.
180 businesses in Chicago.
I learned that half the counties on Route 66 were sundown towns.
This is Michigan.
I thought, well, how in the world did black people, drive Route 66 if half of the counties, they couldn't be in the town after 6 p.m.
So a lot of celebrities used to come to this place. It's called Black Eden.
I think what was most interesting is that when you look at the earlier editions of the guide, you see so many things that are in the Green Book that are not in a traditional travel guide.
The question is, where can we swim? Yeah.
It just signified how many places black people were shut out of.
But this is interesting because it talks about not only just restaurants and places, but actually where you could go buy a car.
They seem minor, but they can become really critical problems, especially when you're in a place where you're not safe.
This exhibit kind of shows the challenges that people had navigating their way around the U.S.
I think the courage and resiliency that black people used, that and the entrepreneurship to have these businesses. You know, it was really fascinating to see this list of all of these businesses, and they all have histories.
I think exhibits like this help you understand that we also had some really crazy experiences that you really can't appreciate until you can see it in pictures and put it in words. And not to relive the experience, but to acknowledge and humanize the pain that people suffered through and the resilience that we have.
That's my favorite part about being Black, is being resilient.
Our thanks to Renee Levine for that. The Green Book exhibition will be on display at Holocaust Museum Houston through November 26th. All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching our webcast.
We'll see you tonight on TV at 10.